Have you ever watched someone speak and just wish that you could speak like them? I remember the first time that I witnessed this. I was at a Toastmasters meeting and the president of our Toastmasters club came up and gave a speech. And during his speech, I remember thinking, I just want to be able to speak like him. If you're a leader and you're looking to become a more polished speaker, to speak so that your team, your audience is more engaged, and honestly, if you just want to feel more confident and step out of your comfort zone and stretch yourself to where you are one of the keynote speakers at an event, then this video is going to help you. I'm going to go through my 10 habits on how to become a stronger communicator, a better speaker, and a leader to where people will listen. I'm Michael Esposito, and I've been speaking for over 10 years. I recently booked a keynote speech that goes through my 4 pillars on leadership. And that keynote you could watch right here on my YouTube channel. But more importantly for you, what I've learned as a communications coach and as someone who works with leaders just like you is that you already have the gift. You already can speak to inspire people. What you need are some simple habits that will help you become more polished and sound more clear and become more confident to where you can be your authentic self when you speak. Stay with me here. We're going to break them down right now. The first habit we're going to speak about today is about your why. Why are you speaking? See, a lot of people break this down and think the first thing they should talk about is what are they going to speak about? And no, it's not about the what, it's about the why. I remember Tony Robbins speaking about understanding your why, figuring out what is your purpose, what is your passion, what is it that drives and motivates and inspires you. Figuring out your why is going to help you figure out your what. What's my purpose as a speaker? What's my purpose as a leader? What's my purpose here with you today making this video? My purpose is to inspire you, to motivate you, but more importantly, to give you valuable information to help you become a better speaker. And so when you're going up and you're preparing a speech, when you're preparing to speak to your team, when you're preparing to speak with someone else, you have to know why you're speaking with them. What is it intrinsically? What is it within you? What is your purpose, your reason for speaking with them? Once you uncover why you're speaking with them, is it to give them value? Is it to give them information? Is it to inspire them? Is it to motivate them? Is it to share with them something that you're going through? Why are you sharing this information with them? Once you figure that out, the what will come. So think of it as reverse engineering. That's one of the words that people like to use a lot today. In terms of reverse engineering your what, figure out what your why is. The second habit that we're going to speak about is prepare more than you think you need. Preparation is huge when we're talking about speaking. See, a lot of people think that they can just enter a conversation or a talk and just wing it. I've met so many speakers say, oh, I just speak from the top of my head. And that can work sometimes. It can work when you have a lot of information and you're just sharing that information very, very quickly. But people know when you put in the time. They know when you put in the effort. They know when you've prepared for this talk. And so when giving a talk, if you want to sound polished, if you want to sound confident, if you want to be clear and you want to engage your audience, then you have to prepare for it. And you have to prepare more than you think. So what that means is, let's say you're going to give a talk for about 30 minutes, then you want to prepare 45, 60 minutes worth of content. Not that you want to go over your 30 minutes, not that you want to overwhelm your audience, but that you have the information that you can unlock at any point during that conversation. The next part about preparation is the rehearsals, the practice that all goes into it. See, people think that when they're an impromptu speaker or they're going to speak off the top of their head that they don't need to prepare anything. But that's not always the case. Speakers like me, we speak about the same thing over and over and over again. And in that repetition is actually rehearsals to where when we are speaking impromptu, or it sounds impromptu on a subject, we're really going back to our practice and our rehearsals. Because I've spoken on this topic so many times, I'm kind of speaking impromptu to you. But those are all rehearsals. So if you're coming up with a topic that's new, if you're coming up with a topic that you want to share and that you want to speak with others about, make sure you're preparing for it, over-preparing for it, and make sure that you're practicing and rehearsing it over and over again in different ways so that when you deliver it, it does sound impromptu and it sounds natural. Habit 3, breathe. All right, breathe with me here, everyone. Here's the thing. So often, speakers who are nervous, speakers who are speaking too quickly, are not breathing. You're not taking deep breaths in before you get up to speak and while you speak. So something that I've been doing throughout this entire shoot here is taking deep breaths between each take. I take deep breaths before I speak, filling my lungs, filling my diaphragm with air, and then releasing it slowly. These deep breaths are going to help you. They clear your mind, they slow your thinking down, and they allow you to speak in your normal voice and cadence. Sometimes when you see a nervous speaker up there, you'll notice that they're speaking from their throat, and you'll notice that they're running out of breath so quickly. And it's because they're not breathing. So just take a moment. Breathe in. And breathe out slowly. That breath right there is so calming, so soothing. A habit to create, a ritual that might help you is before you get on stage, before a big talk, go find a private place, a quiet place, and take 4 deep breaths. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Holding and releasing. Holding and releasing. There are breathing techniques that I can share with you in another video, and there are breathing techniques that you can find that are really great, but simply taking a deep breath in through your nose, holding it, releasing it through your mouth slowly, and doing that over and over again comfortably about 4 times is going to relax you and help you think clearly when you get out on stage. And if you're caught up in the moment and you feel nervous or you feel any types of nerves or you forget your place while speaking, pause and take that deep breath. It's okay. Your audience wants you to succeed. And if taking a deep breath is going to help you, then do it. So this is habit number 4. That's what you sound like. That's what an unpolished speaker sounds like. They say and like and you know, and they don't sound confident when they speak. You got to get right to it. You got to eliminate filler words. That's habit number 4. Eliminate those filler words. If you want to become a more polished speaker, if you want to sound credible, then you have to get rid of filler words. The likes, the so's, the the you knows, those kind of filler words, they take away from your credibility as a speaker. Here's the thing. In common language, when we're speaking with our friends, when we're just sharing a quick story, we may say we may say like, we may say you know. It happens. It's part of our conversations. But reduce it with your friends. Because while speaking with friends and with colleagues and sharing stories, you are practicing for the stage. So if you could reduce it there, it's going to help you on the stage. Here's the thing with public speaking. If you're looking to speak on stages, if you're going to be giving big talks, you need to get rid of the filler words, the likes, the the you knows. Those filler words are going to hold you back from being a credible speaker, from people looking at you and listening to you and giving you the credibility that you deserve. I remember I was at a meeting many years ago for the Chamber of Commerce, and somebody from the state, a government employee, came and gave us a really great lunch and learn, or so we thought. The content was great, but this woman said after every 4 words to the point where we all checked out. And I know you've heard a speaker do the same thing, and that's why it's so important to get rid of filler words. A lot of people ask now, how do you get rid of filler words? What do you do? This whole video that we're doing here, the 10 habits that I'm going through with you, are going to help you eliminate these filler words. But one of the key things in terms of eliminating filler words is to be self-aware. You're only self-aware if you do habit number 2, which is to practice and to rehearse. So you got to do that one. So when you practice and rehearse, you become self-aware. And when you're self-aware, you can actually hear yourself speak. You know the words that are coming out of your mouth, and you have an idea as to what's going to come next. Therefore, what you can do is pause in between those sentences in order to eliminate those filler words. Use transitional words, as I just did, which was therefore. Instead of using a like, a you know, a so, I used therefore you can. By doing this, you sound more credible. If you want to become a polished speaker, if you want to sound credible, then you need to get rid of filler words. And you do that by slowing down, by pausing, and by being self-aware. Getting rid of filler words is a challenge. And that's why habit number 5 is going to help you get rid of filler words. And that is mastering the pause. I went over the pause in a whole other video. I did a whole video on the pause because I knew how important the pause is. You see, the pause, it's so important that we just went over it in our last habit. The pause is what's going to help you get rid of all of those filler words that we just talked about. And that's why I did a whole video on it. Pausing is also going to help you become more credible and more valuable to your audience. Because when you pause, it allows your audience to process the information that you just shared. And if you want to become a more valuable speaker, if you want people to regard you as a wealth of knowledge, then you have to pause to allow that to resonate with your audience. So therefore, that speaker may not be regarded as valuable. Their information may not be regarded as valuable because the audience leaves with really not much. But when you pause, now your audience is able to process. They're able to see the value of what you just said, and therefore makes you more valuable as a speaker. Again, by pausing, you're getting rid of the ums, the likes, the so's that we just talked about. So that's helping you. And use those tips that I just shared with you in terms of becoming more self-aware, slowing down, knowing what you're going to say next, stopping, and then speaking. That's all going to help you get rid of filler words, and that's all going to help you pause. And by pausing, you are creating so much more value for your audience. They're able to process the information you just shared with them. So I want you to think about this in your next talk. Where are the places that I can take a thoughtful pause? Look at your script. Look at your notes. Think of the places where a pause is really going to impact your audience and allow the great idea that you just shared to resonate with them. Habit number 6 is all about speeding up and slowing down. You got to be able to move out. Slow it down. Habit number 6 is about slowing down. How much of that did you just catch? Not much, probably. What happens when we get nervous is we tend to speak a lot faster. But when we take on these habits that I'm sharing with you about breathing, about pausing, about becoming self-aware, we can actually slow down. And by slowing down, again, this allows your thoughts, your ideas to land with your audience, allowing them to process it. But you really want to be able to control your pacing. You want to be able to go back to speaking fast sometimes and slowing it down. I don't want you to become a monotone, slow speaker. What I'm sharing with you is that by slowing down, it's going to help your message resonate with your audience. And if you're feeling nervous when you're speaking, or you catch yourself speaking fast, then just take that pause that we just talked about. Just take that breath that we just talked about and slow it down. No one's going to understand you if you speak fast. You have to slow it down. And just like all of the habits I'm going to share with you today, these are skills that you can learn. You may have been raised in a family that speaks really fast. You may have been raised in an environment that speaks really fast. But I promise you, I'm from New York. I speak really fast. I promise you, that when you become more conscious, when you become more self-aware, and when you use pausing and you practice, you'll be able to slow down. And your audience is really going to appreciate that. Hey, let's take a quick break from these habits. If you're a communicator, if you're a leader and you want to learn more, then just click on the link below for my free PDF on how to become a better communicator. I do these videos in order to help you, and my PDFs and all the work that I do is all to help you as a leader communicate better and really create a culture that your company and that your people will thrive in. So grab the free PDF below, and if you haven't yet, make sure to like and subscribe this video. I really appreciate it. Let's jump into the next habit. At my first Toastmasters meeting, I witnessed an incredible speaker. The way that he came in and was able to hold the stage, the way that he spoke with confidence, and the story that he shared was so engaging. It was breathtaking for me. For someone who wanted to be a speaker and really dreamed of this career, that moment solidified that that's what I wanted to do. I remember the way that he paced on the stage, and I even remember the story that he shared. It kind of cracked me up a little bit, and it kind of got me thinking about myself and who I am, because that's kind of what his message was all about. After that talk, I went right up to the membership committee and signed up and became a Toastmaster. And it was because of the stories that he shared, and it was because of his confidence. Now, of course, I had my why. I had my reason for wanting to become a Toastmaster. He only pushed me right over the edge to join. If you haven't guessed it yet, this next habit, habit number 7, it's all about storytelling. See, a story paints a picture. I hope that in that story, you could imagine what it was like for me as a new speaker to witness a polished speaker. And for you, when you're speaking to your audience, when you're speaking to people about something that is meaningful to you, that is valuable to you, that you want to share with them, then do your best to package it in a story. So your stories can be about the information, your stories can relate to the information, but if you can package your speech in a story, we know that it's going to resonate with your audience and they're going to retain more of that information because it was packaged in a story. By sharing stories, this paints a picture in your audience members' minds. And that story is now stored in their memory for a much longer time and deeper in their memory for a much longer time than if you were to just share information. I love storytelling. It comes from our tribal days when sitting around the fireplace and we would learn about our environment, we would learn about the things to be careful of and the things to go and look for, all based on stories from those old days. And today with modern technology, with YouTube and all the different things that we have around us, storytelling is of the utmost importance because it's how we can convey so much information in such a fun way. Habit number 8, speak to one person. This habit here is going to remove a lot of the nerves that you may have as a speaker. Look, I know how it feels. You get out on stage, you look at a big audience and you go, how am I going to connect with all of these people? And this is why speaking to one person is really going to help you out. Something that I love to do in my workshops is ask everybody, hey, who here has a friend and ever had a conversation? Raise your hand. And everybody laughs because pretty much everybody in the room has a friend and they've all had a conversation. And so think of it that way, is that when you're out on a stage and there's an audience of 100, 200, 3,000 people, speak to one person. Pick one person on this part of the audience, one person here, and one person there. As you pick these different areas in the audience and speak to that one person in those areas, the people around them are going to feel like you're speaking to them too. That removes the pressure of looking at everybody. So go back to those one-on-one meetings. Go back to those conversations on the couch. Go back to the coffee shop with your friends. And when you're on stage, bring that energy to it. Speak to that one person in the audience, and it's going to change the game for you. Habit number 9, focus on service, not performance. I remember watching a Simon Sinek video and him talking about when speaking, you're giving a gift. And I remember that, and that removed so much of the pressure from me when I realized that me speaking on stage, me giving a talk, me speaking anywhere is not about me. It's about you. It's about the audience. It's about what am I giving you? What is my gift to you? And so when we recognize that as speakers, when we recognize that as leaders, our job is not about our performance, although you have to perform. Our job is not about our performance. It's about the service that we provide. It's about the gift that we're giving to our audience and to our teams. When we recognize that we have great value, we have knowledge, we have expertise, we have something to share, we have something to give, and our purpose for getting on stage, our purpose for that talk is to give, well, that removes all the pressure, doesn't it? Because when we go into that service mentality, when we act as service leaders, and we speak from our heart, and we speak from a place of wanting to help, wanting to give, wanting to provide, then that removes all that performance anxiety. Because the performance anxiety is all about how do I look, how do I sound, all of these different things that aren't important anymore once you're on that stage. How do I look? How do I sound? That's all for the rehearsal. That's all for before you get on stage. Once you get on stage, you're live. It's time to start giving. It's time to start providing a service. I remember the feedback that I received from one of my speeches, and my mentor at the time, Linda Grace Farley, shout out to you right now, said to me, Michael, you don't sound like yourself. And I kind of looked at her funny, and I went, what do you mean I don't sound like myself? And she said, you sound like you're trying to perform for us. You sound like you're trying to give a performance rather than speak from your heart. And when she shared that with me, I didn't like it at first. But when I came back and thought about it, when I decided that I'm going to be more authentic to myself and provide a service for my audience and give to my audience, the way that I spoke, the way that I portrayed myself completely changed. It started making my audience feel like I cared about them because that was the truth, always the truth. So that little tip that she gave me about, Michael, be there for your audience, give them a gift, changed everything in the way that I perform and the way that I speak. All right, you're gonna hate me for this habit. I know it because you're watching a YouTube video and you may not have recorded a YouTube video. Habit number 10 is actually about recording yourself. In habit number 10, this is where we take all 9 habits and what you want to share and you hit record. Take your phone out, prop it up against something, get yourself a $10 type of tripod and set it up and record yourself. By recording yourself, you're going to be able to witness what your audience gets to see. Recording yourself is going to help you remove those filler words. It's going to help you script better. It's going to help you see what to do with your face, what to do with your hands. Maybe you need to slow down. I'm going to give you 3 things that you're going to do when you record yourself. But I just want to share with you that recording yourself is a really great way of learning how to speak better. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to record yourself. I want you to set up your camera, set up your phone, just hit record on it. When you're done recording it, I want you to play it back. I want you to watch the whole thing all at once, the video and the audio. Then the next step that I want you to take is put the phone down, face down, don't watch the video at all, and just listen to the audio. And the last step I want you to take is turn the audio off and just watch the video. What this does is it changes all of your senses. Once you turn off the video, your senses, your hearing senses are heightened, and you're going to be able to pick up on more of the filler words that you may have used, places that you could have paused, the value of your content, all sorts of different things are going to pop out in your ears when you do that. When you do the visual only and remove the audio, same thing. Visually, you're going to see, am I making eye contact? What do my facial gestures look like? Do I move too much? Are my hands moving too much? Am I fidgeting, which is a lot of nervous new speakers do? So you're going to be able to see all of that. The other thing that you can do is send it to a coach. I would love to see your video. Send it to someone like me. I can provide you feedback. We can look at it together, give you the feedback that you need to go back and record another video. By recording these videos over and over again, that goes right back to practicing. It's going to help you with your impromptu speaking, and it's definitely going to help you with your speech. I record every speech I give. I record everything I do when it relates to speaking so that I could always look back at it. One of the great things about recording yourself is it also creates a script for you if you're speaking impromptu. So many times I'll give speeches at a Toastmasters meeting or somewhere else, and I'll just record myself. I may not ever use that content anywhere else, but I will watch it back and it creates a script for me. So do yourself a favor. Habit number 10 sounds really simple. I know it's a challenge, but record yourself. I get it. You're leading a team. You're working really hard. You're watching a lot of content like this in order to educate yourself and become a better communicator. So I get it. You got a lot on your plate. So that's why I'm only going to ask you one thing. Pick one habit from this video and start working on it today. I promise you that by picking one habit from this video today, it's going to improve your public speaking skills. You're going to become a more polished speaker, a more confident speaker, and a speaker that's going to resonate with your audience. This is it. This is what leadership's all about. It's about doing the work. It's about picking something, sticking with it, and moving on to the next one. So pick one of the habits. Drop it in the comments. Let me know which habit resonated with you and that you're going to start working on today. I know for me, when I started working on removing filler words, it made me a much more polished and confident speaker. So which habit is it for you? And if this video gave you any value, then hit the like button and subscribe for more content like this. Thanks so much for watching this. I hope this video helped you. Stay happy and stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everyone.